just a few words about Herman. Herman is a freelance privacy strategist, technoblogger, docent lecturer at Karl de Grote Hogeschool. Okay.
Yes.
This is, like I said, I'm better in English. As a consultant, he helps companies in various fields, from analytic to SEO to privacy. But most importantly, Herman takes his privacy seriously. Case in point, on his webpage under contacts, he writes, "This email address is not intended for direct marketing, attempts to sell me services or products, or inclusion in random PR databases for pointless press releases."
Yes.
I like that part very much. So, Herman, today you will try to take us kind of from a perspective of what is the state of the MarTech tools nowadays. And the floor is all yours.
Okay. Hi. Good afternoon. So yeah, I'm from Belgium. It's a crazy winter day today in Belgium. It's sunny and 17 degrees. And I will start short introduction. So what's already done. I'm now at the moment a freelancer, marketing privacy. I'm a privacy officer at Loop Earplugs, a well-known global brand now, and a university teacher. But today I'm talking about the perfect storm for 2025. So yeah, web analytics is really hard. Compared to 5-6 years ago, it was so easy. The digital marketing, you just threw some money to Google, Facebook, you had Google Analytics, everything was working, you could measure everything. But now, yeah, it's really hard. We have also the data transfers to the US. Is it legal? Is it illegal? Which tool can we use? That's also an important one. Tools are really expensive now. Everything is becoming more and more expensive, and our clients, our companies, they need return on investment. They want it as fast as possible, so we don't have time to really experiment that much. And yeah, web analytics, it's in the marketing space, that's really hard at the moment. We are measuring less data than before, and that's crazy. Because I'm teaching web analytics at university, and to my students, I have to tell 5-6 years ago, I could measure everything. But now I can't measure anything anymore. We have GDPR with cookie banners. We have ad blockers really on the rise. We have the privacy changes of Apple. And these are things that in the marketing space are really becoming an issue. And when we zoom in into GDPR, yes, in some countries, it's really crazy. In several European countries, for example, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, GDPR enforcement is going really hard. And yes, EU citizens are now more privacy aware. For example, at Loop Earplugs, a global e-commerce brand with earplugs, yeah, I see it daily. Every day I get requests to delete from customers. So customers who are sending me an email to saying, hey, you're the privacy officer. I want you to remove all my data in your database. Every day we have this kind of requests. Mainly Germany is really becoming a hard country for us with customers who are asking for us to delete all their data. And yeah, with the cookie banners, GDPR cookie banners, I have two examples of existing clients from me. At the top, we have an example of a valid cookie banner. A valid cookie banner, a consent banner. It's a company mainly with a female audience, and we have a cookie banner with accept all cookies and reject all cookies. Same colors, same design, really totally legal. What do we see over there in the data? So we are using Cookiebot at that website. And with Cookiebot, you have a nice report where you can see how many people are consenting. And we see over here, 72% of the visitors of the website are consenting to our cookies, to marketing, to pixels, to web analytics, to all the different things. So 72%. We are really happy with that. Okay, 72, but what with the other 28%? We don't track them anymore. We don't know anything anymore from them. 28%, that's really a high value. So 28% of the visitors of this website, we don't track anymore in our MarTech tools. Below is another example. It's from a company with, that cookie banner isn't valid. Why? It's only an accept button. And then you have to go in the preferences to refuse to reject all the other cookies. With that, what do we see over there? We see 91%. So on the right side below, we can see 91% is accepting everything. So yeah, 91%, that's nice. However, 2 to 3 months ago, we had 95%. So that means that in 2-3 months, more than 4% of the visitors of this web shop are going to the preferences and are refusing our tracking and our marketing pixels. So that's really an issue for MarTech. More and more citizens, young people, IT-minded people, tech people are saying, no, I don't want tracking anymore. I don't want your MarTech tools anymore. And they're refusing, rejecting the different tools. So that's becoming more and more an issue. The second issue is the ad blockers. When I ask it to my students at the university, I'm asking them every year who is using an ad blocker. And when I'm asking it to students in Belgium, it's almost 80%. 80% of the younger people, of the tech people, developers, IT people are using ad blockers. And more ad blockers are also rejecting, refusing Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, all your marketing pixels, all your MarTech tools. So that's important. When you have a younger audience, an audience of people around 20 years old or IT-minded, tech-minded, know that you are rejecting your tracking and your pixels and all the things. So that's important to know it. To know from, okay, we have an issue maybe. We will see how we can solve it. And yes, since this week, Chrome is now actively recommending to remove ad blockers in your browser. So that's something new that Chrome is really saying, hey, you have an ad blocker. Maybe you have to remove it. It's of course because of the Google ads. And I get it because they are saying, hey, it's against our own business. So do you want to remove it? So that's also an important thing. There is a lot is happening at the moment. A third issue that we have is Apple. Apple is more and more privacy aware, privacy focused. Privacy is their unique selling point. They're saying, hey, do you want privacy? Buy an iPhone, buy a MacBook. And every release of their operating software, they're doing more and more anti-tracking. That's important to know. For example, in iOS 17, we had the URL filtering. And URL filtering, does that mean? Well, we have it in this example. So some URL parameters are now being removed by Apple when you share that URL. So when you share it in an email or to someone else, they will cut some parameters from the URL. So that's also an important one. Really, when you're active in MarTech, in marketing, you have to know about this because it's impacting you. It's impacting some things. So for example, we have which parameters are removed from Google, from Meta, from Bing ads, for example. Those parameters are removed. What isn't removed? UTM tags. UTM tags, so important, use it in marketing. I'm a big user of UTM tags on all the things. And that's also a key message I'm always giving to students, to companies, marketing companies I'm working for. Use UTM tags everywhere now. For example, you're using Google Ads. Okay, in Google Ads, you can add your UTM tag template. In Meta ads also, you can add your own UTM tags to have as much as information also to your website, because that's one of the key issues. More and more ad blockers, also Apple, are stripping different parts from the URL away. That are the parts from Google, from Meta to do the conversion tracking. And if you don't have that information, that can give you a disadvantage. So for me, really important, whenever you're doing marketing and you're using QR codes, newsletters, short URLs, advertising platforms, look at your UTM tags. Do we have UTM tags everywhere? And are they working? Is it in the correct format? That's really important. Also, a fun thing to do is in your web analytics, check what the rise of AI platforms is doing. Perplexity, ChatGPT, I'm seeing more and more traffic coming from those platforms. Last week I had a big client, and a big client, I was asking ChatGPT, hey ChatGPT, can you visit this website? And ChatGPT was saying, no, this is a technical issue. I can't access that website. So I went to IT, to the development team. I said, hey, is there maybe an issue? And he said, oh, yeah, we blocked the user agent of ChatGPT because it was doing too much traffic on our service and we just blocked it. Yeah, that's not that good, of course. So what we did was unblock ChatGPT, and now ChatGPT can read that website and will send more traffic visitors also to that website. I'm seeing it also with my tech blog, a small Dutch-spoken tech blog here in Belgium. I'm seeing more and more traffic coming from ChatGPT. More and more people are using it to ask for, to do searches and to also click on different links to go to the sources, because ChatGPT is giving more and more sources. So important that you ask ChatGPT, can you visit my website? To see if there are technical issues, yes or no. Of course, there are some websites who are blocking ChatGPT really with a reason. In Belgium, all the big newspapers, all the news websites have blocked ChatGPT because they said, we don't want that you are using our data to train your models. And I get it. Perfect for them. However, from small B2B website, for example, you want ChatGPT to have access to your website, that they can also read and learn what are you doing on your website, and that they can send you traffic. That's really an important one. I also want to do a small attention, big red light when you're using Bitly. I think you know Bitly. Bitly are short links. So when you have a really long marketing URL with the Bitly, you can create a short URL to use it, to share it somewhere on social media or on your website. Know that since this month, when you're using the free Bitly version, so you're not paying Bitly, they will bring a new page whenever a visitor is clicking on your Bitly link. So whenever someone is clicking on your Bitly link, they will go to a temporary page with advertisements, and on that page they have a link to click to your website. That's something that you don't want. So whenever you're using Bitly in your marketing at the moment, you have two options. Option one is use another service to create short links. Option two is pay for Bitly Premium. I think it starts at €10 a month, so it's not that expensive. But for example, I know some companies, they're using Bitly behind QR codes on folders, in magazines, on newspapers. They have an issue because they can't change that URL anymore. So they have now to pay for Bitly to get a premium subscription. Otherwise, the users of that Bitly short URL will see advertisements. And that's not what you want, of course, in your brand experience. And then I have a big question that I'm getting every time, everywhere is, hey Herman, can we still use US-based MarTech tools? Because we had some issues. 2 years ago, we had issues in Europe with Google Analytics. Suddenly, Austria, Italy, France, Denmark, were all saying, hey, Google Analytics is illegal. You can't use Google Analytics because it's sending data to US-based service. So at that moment, it was illegal. And several big companies got big fines because of this. But yeah, luckily, they created a framework. So at that moment, 2023, they created a framework between Europe and the US. And that's the data privacy framework. When you never heard about this, visit this website. So it's the data privacy framework website. And there you can find a list with all companies that are approved for Europe and the US. So they're approved to send data from Europe to the US for those companies. Google, Microsoft, it's all there. HubSpot, they're all there. They're all on the big list, the data privacy framework list. And that's a good solution because now it's clear whenever you use a tool that's a company that's on this list, you can use the US-based service. It's totally legal. However, we have now Trump in the United States, and he's doing some crazy things. And also he's undermining this framework. So my guess for this year will be that the data privacy framework will be gone. It's really a big guess. So that's something I'm afraid for, that there will be new rules in the US and that will impact also this principle. And that will mean that I think this year we will have again chaos and drama about, for example, Google Analytics. That legally it's not okay anymore. So that will be a big thing for this year. Will the data privacy framework between Europe and US still be valid and still be working? Because at this moment it's really easy. At Loop Earplugs, whenever someone is coming to me, a colleague, and he's saying, hey, I want a new tool, I'm saying it's a tool from the US. Yes, okay, we will go to the list. Okay, the tool is on this list. Perfect. Legal says, okay, we can use this tool to send data to the US. However, I'm not sure in 2, 3, 4 months what will happen. So that will be the wild ride this year. And I want to give some examples because I'm seeing it also in Belgium. More and more companies are thinking, are there not smaller, really MarTech tools from Europe that are not that expensive and that we can use and with better support and support in our time zone? And there are more and more European-based tools and really good tools. I'm really a big fan of several of those tools. So for example, first one, Plausible. Plausible Analytics is my favorite web analytics tool at the moment. It's a tool from Estonia and it's so easy to use. If you compare this with GA4, Google Analytics, the newer version, it's day and night. Plausible brings, again, really a nice dashboard for smaller companies where they can find everything. In 2 clicks, they have the UTM tags, UTM campaign, UTM source, they can all see it. Conversion events, really easy to set up. We can do e-commerce funnels to see how is my webshop working. Everything is working that easy. And yes, it's a paying tool. I think it starts at €9 a month. So it's not that expensive, but it's really crazy easy to understand. And that's a nice tool to use also for smaller clients, for landing pages, for temporary campaigns. Totally a useful tool to use it. And the good thing is they have really nice tutorials. Tutorials for Shopify, for example. How do you have to set it up with Shopify? Okay, you go there and you do this and this script and you create this event and blah, blah, blah. Everything will work. And for WordPress websites, they have a crazy good WordPress plugin. A plugin where you can just say, I want, for example, form tracking. Okay, form tracking, it will happen. It will work. You don't have to do anything for it. It will just work. I want to do search tracking. Okay. Search field tracking. Okay. Download tracking. Okay. It will work. Just click the button and it will work. Really easy to use. The nice thing for WordPress is the plugin has also a proxy option. And a proxy, what does it mean? That means that the Plausible tracking code is loaded on your website. So it's not coming from Plausible. And what does that mean? Ad blockers won't block it. So that means the tracking is happening on your website and then the data is sent to Plausible, but the ad blockers don't detect it as a tracking issue, tracking thing. So that means that you get more data. Also, when you have an IT-minded audience, a younger audience on your website who is using more ad blockers, this is really a great solution to get more data and more insights again. For example, I have an IT recruitment company. So they're doing recruitment of developers, for example. When we are using GA4, we don't have any data because all the ad blockers are blocking all the data of GA4. And now with Plausible, with this proxy solution, we get all the data and we can see more. And all the data is in Europe. So it's totally legal for GDPR also. So that's a nice tool. The second tool is when you want to go one step further in web analytics. What I am seeing a lot now in Belgium is server-side tracking. That means that we are not tracking anymore in the browser, where an ad blocker can block all the tracking. No, we bring it to a separate server, and we are sending the data from that server. And normally you're doing it with Google Tag Manager on Google Cloud, on US-based servers, and blah, 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 blah. But now you have more and more European versions, European-based versions. Also, an Estonian example is Stape. With Stape.io, you can really easily create server-side tracking. And they have nice tutorials to say from, okay, you have lots of issues with ad blockers. Okay, we will help you. We will do server-side tracking. An ad blocker can't delete the tracking at that moment. And we will bring the data to your different MarTech tools. All the big companies in Belgium are doing now or migrating to server-side tracking. So that's also a trend that I'm seeing a lot in Belgium at the moment. And then my most favorite MarTech tool at the moment. So easy, mail-tester.com. And what does it do? It's really easy. It's giving you a temporary email address. And that email address you're using to test your email domain configuration. Is my email working? Isn't it going to the spam? Is all the technical configuration done with the SPF and the DKIM and all the other, the DMARC DNS records? Is everything okay? Or you get complaints. A client is saying, hey, all my mails are going to the spam folder. Can you investigate this? Well, with this France-based tool, a French tool, you can really easily check on it and it will give you, hey, you have this score on 10. These are the things that are not working. You have to fix this and this and this to get a 10 on a 10 scale. That's a really nice free tool that you can use to whenever you're using a new email platform, for example, MailChimp, HubSpot, or another one, and you want to see, are the emails going to the mailbox of the recipients or are they going to the spam folder? With this tool, you can test the configuration and you can see if everything is working. And the biggest MarTech trend in Belgium at the moment, Google Analytics. GA4 failed big time in the last years. It's too complicated now. It's not working always. You have really a big complex setup. And I'm seeing more and more companies in Belgium going to other web analytics tools. Plausible Analytics, Piwik Pro, Matomo, Simple Analytics, that's a big trend. They're going to European-based web analytics tool that are more easy to understand and not that complicated and are really in the US situated. So that's something, a big trend that I'm seeing. And as a conclusion, yes, 2025 will be a wild year for marketing. In Europe, globally, in the US, it will be crazy. I'm sure about this. And the only constant is change. So we will have to embrace it, adapt, and thrive. And that's an important message. It's not anymore that simple. 5-6 years ago, digital marketing was a walk in the park. You just could relax. Everything was going like it should be. Now, this year, I think it will be a wild year with crazy things that will happen, with companies that will stop, for example, stop working. So we will see what it will bring. But for the moment, I would just say, enjoy the day. I hope that you got some new insights from this. I'm sending the slides, so the slides can be shared within the event later on. And I'm seeing you a goodbye and have a nice day. Bye.